Alright, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to look at our Picoscope 2000 series and we're going to learn how to use it as a waveform generator. If you'll look at the tool, you'll see that there's three BNC hookups on the front. One is for channel A, another one is for channel B, both of those are inputs, and then there's a third one labeled AWG, which is an output. AWG stands for Arbitrary Waveform Generator. So we can actually set up Picoscope 6 software to output a type of wave out of this channel. So on your software itself, we're going to click on this box right here, and you'll see it's our signal generator. We're going to select arbitrary AWG, and then if we click on this box, we can actually change the settings for this. So over on the left, you'll notice we can change what type of wave, whether it be a square or a sine or a triangle. We're going to keep it as a square waveform for this. You can also change your number of samples you want it to do, how many cycles you want it to do, your minimum. We're going to keep it at 0, your maximum, which we're going to turn it up to 1, and that is the highest you can go on here. And then we're going to change this to a 30% duty cycle to start with. Click apply, and then OK. And now on the main screen of the signal generator, we can change the frequency and we can change the amplitude. Even though our maximum was 1 inside of this box here, that 1 just means like 100%. So if I wanted to select 2 volts, for example, which is the highest you can do on here, then what we're going to actually see over here is a waveform from 0 to 2 volts. If we wanted a 1 volt range, we could do that. Okay, and then you can also set an offset if you want to. Now, if this box is checked right here, that means that this is already producing a waveform out of that AWG BNC port. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to hook up your leads onto the scope itself so that then we can actually take a reading, and then we'll come back and we'll do some measurements and see how accurate this signal generator is. Okay, so if we want to hook up our Picoscope 2000 series in a way where we can measure the output of our signal generator, what we would do is we would come in with one BNC lead and put it on the AWG port, and then we'd come in with another BNC lead and put it on channel A. And then we'll piggyback the leads from each of those cables. So now what we have is we have the signal being generated, and then we're reading that signal through channel A. Okay, so then we'll go back to our screen and we'll be able to measure the output signal on our Picoscope 6 software. Alright, so now that we have our Picoscope 2000 series all hooked up with our two different BNC leads, we're going to go ahead and click play, and you can see that waveform being generated just like we set it up between 0 and 2 volts at a 30% duty cycle. So let's go ahead and stop it. We're going to zoom in just a bit. And now we're going to actually measure it and see how accurate that 30% duty cycle is. Okay, so we're going to pull over our rulers over here. And they're already set to a percentage. If they were set to degrees, remember you go down here and change that. And if for some reason it's reading 200% here, you can double click that and change it to 100. Alright, now we're going to pull over our white cursor, and remember our white cursor will measure the difference negative from this 0 spot and then the difference positive. So as soon as we pass the 0%, it starts counting up. You can see that happening right here. And we're going to drag this over to the falling edge and see if it's 30%, which it is. Okay, it's off by a little bit, but that's more me moving my touchpad than it is the actual waveform. All right, now let's change it a little bit and see how different it looks. Let's go back into our signal generator. We're going to change this so that our maximum is only 50. And remember, this is more of a percent here, so if I still have my 2 volts back on the other page set, then this is actually going to output a 1 volt. You'll see that here in a second. And we're going to change our duty cycle to 50%. Okay, so if I keep the amplitude at 2 volts, but we're at 50% inside the arbitrary settings, then it's actually going to output 1 volt on our screen here. Okay, so let's click play, and there you go. 1 volt, 50% duty cycle. Let's zoom in again. Let's measure one. Okay, so that's how your signal generator works and how you can use it. So hopefully that video is helpful for you guys.